Alright guys, my name is Rory. I'm with Nucraft Metal Products. We manufacture the CraftLander boat lifts. Today what I'm showing you is our 15-foot set of bunks for 8,000-pound hydraulic boat lift. I'm just going to do a quick assembly video on it. You'll see what I have on this side. I already have half the kit done. I just pre-assembled this. I'm going to show you on one corner how it goes together. They all are pretty much the same. For this lift right here, it's, like I said, 15-foot bunks. We did put a aluminum tube inside of the bunk rail on the bottom to stiffen it up, because of the length of the boat lift. Okay. One thing, when you open up the kit, you're going to have 4 of these aluminum angles like so. There's going to be 2 rights, 2 lefts. And you're also going to have 4 of these bunk bars, the flat bars right here. And then we open up your hardware kit. You're going to, for each corner, you're going to have 3 of the 1/2 inch by 5.5. You're going to have 1 of the 1/2 inch by 6 per corner of the boat lift. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then what you have over here, you have the bunk. It's already pre-assembled with the blocks on it. You will notice this aluminum flat bar that's welded on here. What that is for, if you look at this side over here, when you get this all tightened up and everything like that, it keeps the bunk from over-rotating. That way you'll never ever get a chance of that bunk flopping over completely and hitting the bottom of your fiberglass boat, damaging it. So that's what those are for. So just make sure you're aware of that when you're putting these together. Pay attention to that. That's how you want it to work, like so. Okay. Boat locations, you're going to have your 5.5s down here, 5.5 here in the middle. This pipe spacer that's also included in the kit right here, that is going to go in the middle. What that does is it ties these pieces of aluminum here, the angle and the flat bar together, making them as one, giving them a lot more strength. So that's going to go in there. Your long bolt, your 1/2 inch by 6 is going to go at the top. Okay. Going back over here, what I usually like to do is I'll put them on top of each other like so. Backing up just a second here on these 4 pieces of angle, I said there's 2 rights and 2 lefts. I really want to explain this and be as clear as I can on it, okay? Obviously right hand's right hand, left hand is left hand. If you look at it up here, you have your aluminum angle. Right here I have the leg on the aluminum angle towards the top. If you call that the top, call this the bottom. What that does is all your pressure, your weight of your boat's going to be pushing this way on the bunk as you pick it up. So you want that leg right there. That's going to be the strongest point of the angle right there, where you have the corner of the angle of things tied together. You don't want to have it to where it's pushing down this way, because then all your fail points could be right here at a bolt hole, per se. So it's important that you set it up like I have. Your leg or angle pointing towards each other, just like I have shown here in the picture. Okay. So I've got those ones set up. Now moving, basically starting from scratch on this one, I put the angle on top of this. You take one of your 5.5 inch bolts and a nut, put it through the hole like so, finger tight the nut on it, and right here, this is where the pipe spacer comes in. Grab your pipe spacer, put it through the second middle hole. Make sure your bolts are all facing the same direction. And also, while we're putting this together, it is imperative on this, number 1, that the bolts all are going to point to the middle of the carriage. The reason for that is where your I-beam is here and your spreader down below. When the carriage drops inside of that lower framework, you want to make sure that there's nothing that's going to hit it. If you put the bolts the other way, there's a chance it's going to hit it. And that also goes for this angle. The angle must be on the inside of the carriage. If you don't, what will happen is that angle will hit that lower spreader. It'll prevent your carriage from going down all the way. It'll cost you about 7 inches of travel. So just be aware of that as you do it. Now that you have these 2 bolts in like so, again, the pipe spacer is going up on the second hole from the top. This bolt right here and the bottom one that we're about to put in is going to pinch it to the I-beam. So you don't want a pipe spacer in here, because that could prevent you from getting tight on the I-beam, keeping the hardware loose. Take the hardware like so. Set it on, take your last 1/2 inch by 5.5, put it through the bottom hole there. Put your nut on the inside. And this is what you have here. So I have all the angles on the inside of the carriage pointing towards each other. I have all the bolts all the way around pointing towards each other, towards the inside. So everything's smooth out here, nothing's protruding out any more than it should. Next, what you're ready to do, if you got a helper, this is obviously easier, but you can take your bunk rail here, take it, and just put it on the top. one end at a time. Just get it to sit up there the best you can. Grab your half if you're by yourself. The other person could hold the other side if you got a helper. So this is where you take your 1/2 by 6 inch bolt. You get this set up there all the way. Hit your bunk on the top. What you want to do, go through the top hole there, right through that block that we have pre-assembled onto the bunk. Put that through. Go ahead and finger tighten your nut on it. And you're going to repeat that step at the front. Mind you, keep in mind this aluminum flat bar right here. This goes towards the outside. Like I said earlier, it keeps the bunk from over-rotating. Do the same at the front end of the boat lift. And at this point, what you can do is use your measurements that you probably already have determined. If you haven't already, what you want to do is look at the bottom of your boat, measure your trailer bunks even like that. Just want to make sure none of your bunks are going to hit the chines on the bottom of your boat, where it's going to support it the best. As far as your spacing at the front, it is okay to be wider at the rear and narrower at the front, kind of like your trailer is just doing the same thing. At that point, once you have those measurements figured out on here and spacing properly, you can tighten up all these bolts and sandwich them. And everything's tight. At that point, what we recommend is the first time you put your boat on the lift to walk it on, make sure everything's fitting properly, exactly where it should be. Even if you get a set of scuba goggles to go into the water when you float your boat on, take a peek at it, make sure they're falling where they should be. If not, make your adjustments and get her dialed in. After you get that done, you can put your boat on it, start using it. Thanks for watching.